Hey there, people. This is a member of the Greenwich. What would you call it? Citizens, Greenwich citizens. I just wanted to let you know my interactions with Greenwich Council, particularly Children's Services. They have emailed me so far saying that that they don't need to intervene. That I never asked for help regarding domestic violence from my ex-partner that works for Stonehams PLC and Footscray. He's now subsequently put an interim on me with false allegations of mental health issues. I've spent the last 8 years in the ambulance service. I think somebody who works in ambulance service has a better idea of mental health issues than someone who works in a warehouse. Particularly one that puts a bit of wood through a machine to stick a plastic edge on it. Greenwich Children's Services said that there's no sexual intent involved. Apparently they have the idea of what a sexual intent is. Apparently it's perfectly suitable to pull your swimming trunks down to a child and get them to look at your willy and to tell them that when they're older they can suck your cock. The police are saying that they can't do anything about it because the kid who's got... Do you reckon a child's going to talk about something so embarrassing just about to anyone? And thanks to the family court, so I now have to prove that there is nothing wrong with me, which is total nonsense. This is what we've done away with legal aid in this country. But all of us that spent how many years paying into this system, whereas the people that have never paid into the system get to use it. This is just beyond friggin' ludicrous. I will be blogging my updates. I would like to say that I did go to Matthew Pennycook, my local councillor and MP for Greenwich Borough and Woolwich, who told me he basically wasn't interested. It was a personal issue when I was actually trying to ask for advice on how to change the laws because it is obvious corruption. This law is it's obvious to the layperson that it was invented back in the day where people of money wanted to screw, who were, I don't know, shagging their secretaries, wanted to screw over their wives with the children, get out paying for them, and wanted to lord them over the ex-partner. But since we've got female prime ministers, I think we need to jog on past that scenario. Also, the family courts apparently are interested in people taking their kids on holiday. Well, there's kids in this country that can't afford to eat or be clothed, and they consider that something of importance. It's all right for their dad to get out of trying to give their mum money in order to house them and feed them and push them into bankruptcy, trying to do it all by herself. But it's all right for him to turn up when he feels like I can take him on holiday. So, well, it's also that he's got money from screwing over other women to keep taking you to court instead of giving you money towards bringing up your son. So the mind absolutely boggles. I am looking into taking a case against Greenwich Children's Services. When my son was getting bullied at school, Greenwich Council told me, well, if you choose to take your son out of school, I was like, hang on a minute, I'm not sending my son into school to get kicked the crap out of every day, and you're telling me if I choose not to send my son into school, that doesn't even come into the equation. They couldn't sort out the school, which was St Alfred's in Greenwich. They couldn't stop the bullying. In fact, my son got picked on every day. He got mugged, they waited for him to come out of the toilet so they could kick him. I made sure he wasn't allowed any friends in his class, but yet the school and the authority didn't have the power to do anything, which sounds like a load of crap to me because that's what they're for. And the headmaster, Mr Bullpitt, kept saying Greenwich won't let us get rid of these children, and Greenwich is saying, well, it's nothing to do with us. So who is it to do with? And quite really, I think people like Mr Bullpitt need to resign because he obviously isn't mature enough in his career to know how to handle a situation, along with his second in command, Miss Harris. Both of them are unable to deal with children of bullying, which is standard. It's quite simple. If a child is being horrible to another child and they can't understand that this is not acceptable, you keep them in from playtimes until they can learn how to behave in playtimes. It's not rocket science. It's simple, but you know, it's much easier for them to get rid of a kid that's got disabilities and that's getting bullied than it is to deal with the situation or be called racist because the kids that are bullying him happen to be of another ethnicity, which has nothing to do with anything. The majority of the school is the opposite ethnicity. It's nothing to do with that. in order to be racist, you'd have to get rid of the whole school, pretty much, apart from 5%. But there we go. It just shows how corrupt this law is. Matthew Pennycook, is more worried about bus routes than he is about the bullying in this borough, and about domestic violence, and he is about anything else that's worth worrying about. Buses in the UK are a waste of time anyway, because you spend hours trying to get anywhere. What's the point in getting on a mode of transport where you spend 3 hours trying to get somewhere? You get to work in the city, you time to go home again. I think you get fired for being 3 hours late for work. Anyway, regardless, chin up. If anybody's got any comments, wants to join the party of the eradication of the corruption of Greenwich Council and the family courts, please get in touch.